So today I want to talk about work. The main differences about work in England and China, especially in regards to like teaching and anything else I've ever done. So, well, it's just mostly like dealing with kids. So in the UK, I once was a ride attendant. I was in a theme park, well, an amusement park, and, well, I had to deal with children. I think the children in the UK in this specific place were much better behaved. Like they weren't. I mean, they were a little spoiled because their parents could like take them here and whatever, like whenever. Like some of them you just remember because they're always there, and you're like, doesn't this get boring after a while? I mean, I don't like to go to like the same amusement park too often because like I will get bored. Like if I go somewhere too much, I just don't like going there. It's like going to the same restaurant or like fast food place, and they like you walk in and they go, "Hey, it's you," and they know your name, and then they say your order, and you're like, "Oh my goodness, I've been here too much." Like that would just like ruin it for me. But oh well, some kids like love going to the same places over and over and doing the same few things. Terrible. So yeah, like they were much like less spoiled, but the parents were like mostly annoying because the parents like didn't care for like the rules of the rides and whatnot. Like I've had parents try and walk on the ride as it's going around, and I have to like run to the gate. It's not far, but like I have to like charge to the gate and be like, "Whoa, the ride is going around. Don't you dare come in." Which is something else. It's really kind of weird when like parents do that. Like a ride is going around, and they're just like, "Oh, I can go in." I think the worst one is when like they see you are like putting people in the ride, and then they just come in, and you're like, "Oh, sorry, the ride is full. You cannot come in." And they're like, "But that seat's empty," and you're like, "Well, that seat's broken." Sometimes like broken seats happen in rides, or like cars or whatever, like you can't put people in because of various reasons, and people will see these as empty seats and they'll go, "But that seat's empty, why can't I go in?" It's like we had one ride where you couldn't have too many people in. Like you could have like 8 people in, but a 9th person, that ride's not going around. It was a small roller coaster, but like 9 people would make it like not work. 8 people it could be okay with, but it would be slow. So when I had like 7, 8 people in this one ride, and someone comes up and tries to go get in, I say, "Hey, just wait outside," and then I send it around, and he goes, "Why can't I come in?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not really meant to put more people on it." He's like, "Why, is it full?" I'm like, "Kind of." And then like it goes round and he's like, "Hey, that's not full." I'm like, "It kind of is." He's like, "There are empty seats." So I have to explain like, "Yes, there are empty seats. Well done, your observation skills are on point." But like I said before, I can't really put more people on, so therefore it's kind of full. And then you have to explain like why that is. It's just like, if I put more people on, the ride won't go around. We don't want to like have to push you. Terrible. I think like in China people would understand that and they'd be like, "Okay." After that McDonald's trip, okay is the thing that sort of like worries me now. Ooh. Oh well. It should be fine. But yeah, like parents are like the most like annoying thing like I had to deal with working in an amusement park in England, because they were more like willing to like not obey the rules and do whatever for their kid. It's like some people like try and bribe you and say like really weird stuff to you. Like I've been shouted at for like some dumb things, but whatever. Like I had an entire family like tell me, "Oh, can we have a big bargain deal?" I'm like, "No, sorry, that's not how business works." And then they were like, "Oh, have a heart," and I was like, "Well, no then." Oh well. But in China, like, just all the kids are spoiled. All of them. Most of them are, actually. Some are, like, really nice and obey rules, and they understand how rules are meant to be and what to do with them. And they're the most wonderful children. Oh, so good. And then you have, like, kids who are spoiled. Like, I remember, like, I get to teach 3-year-olds, like, ages 3 to, like, 14, like, anywhere in between, I get to teach. It's great. So I was teaching, like, this group of 3-year-olds, and you just tease them and they like it. I don't know why. It's like you go to high-five them, and then you, like, pull your hand away, and they're like, "Oh!" And, like, the class laughs and you're having fun. I did this to, like, one kid, and he said, "Hey, high-five me or I'll beat you up." But just in Chinese. And my TA was laughing, and I was like, "What's going on?" And she was like, "Oh, he said, like, high-five him or he'll beat you up." And then I laughed, and I was like, "Oh, that's funny, man." But 3-year-olds genuinely think, like, "Yo, what are you doing? How dare you tease me?" Like, I had a 3-year-old girl, just the other day. Just yesterday, actually. Well, yesterday when I'm recording this. And I asked her a question, and she said in Chinese, "Princesses don't need to study." And I was like, wow. You're in my class, you're gonna join in. But she, like, joined in with games and stuff, and I got her to say a bunch of stuff in English because I had to check how well her English level was. I mean, she can repeat very well, but, yeah. Anyway, that's enough about, like, spoiled kids. Not really. I mean, it is. I don't like talking about spoiled kids, because they're just so annoying. Like, I had one kid who, like, I teased a little, and he just bit me, and I'm like, wow, get out of here. It's like, I've had 2 children be picked up and taken out of the classroom because they were just spoiled, really. Like, one boy was corrected on his spelling and he got really annoyed and just started, like, staring at someone, and, like, he didn't want to move, so, like, he started hitting anyone who was trying to move him. So I just, like, picked him up and took him outside, and he just, like, started, like, kicking my leg and hitting me, and I'm like, "Hey, you, stop it." I just, like, point at him. I just, like, push him away gently, sort of, and then I just, like, point at him, like, "Hey, you, stop this. You can stay here until you calm down, and then you can come back." And then it's really annoying when that happens, because, like, parents don't discipline their kids here. It's a really annoying thing. So they just don't understand, like, when they're being told off, or, like, when they're doing something wrong. Which baffles me, because, like, I was always taught about rules and stuff, and, like, I should always be a good person and never do bad things. But, you know, not here in China. And I had like one girl in this same class, like, oh my goodness, she cried because in a game she got a square she didn't want. That was it. She cried. And just, like, hysterical. Like, the TA had to pick her up and take her out. And she was kicking and screaming. It was madness. But I think that's enough about spoiled kids. Just, like, parents, like to spoil kids, like, way too much, and then they just get this, like, perception where they're, like, the best thing ever. And it's a term called like little emperors, where everyone does things for them, so they get this giant ego. Oh, it's terrible. Really, really terrible. Anyway, there's a few more things I want to talk about really about work, like the application for like time off. So like getting time off in the UK, you just kind of talk to a dude and you're like, hey, I want some time off, and they don't check if you can. I mean, they do check if you can, they just don't like check really see like how many people have that time off too often, because let's face it, not a lot of people in England get like book holidays around the same sort of time. And there's not really like I've never like encountered like a rule where only like a certain number of people can like have it off. Like I've always had the too many people, but that's like when like a lot of people are actually applying, which I think is fine to like get told no. But here in like my school in China, if 2 teachers apply for time off, no one else can in those days. Simple. So that makes like Christmas is a very interesting one for me, because I thought we'd have more time off than we do. I don't have to work Christmas Day, but Christmas Eve and Boxing Day definitely have to work, and that baffles me so much. So I tried to apply for like time off around that, but it didn't go so well. I was told no because 2 other teachers have already applied, and that makes me sad. But oh well. Oh well. So I can't go home for Christmas because of that, which means that I need to plan way further in advance the ability to go home for Christmas. And that's something that is actually like super crazy to think of. I mean, it's mad, right? 2 teachers are off that time, I can't go home for Christmas, no one else can. So you have all these teachers who just... So you have like so many teachers like every year who just can't go home for Christmas. That's mad, man. That's crazy. So crazy. And then another thing that you also have in a job like this is your friends leaving. It's really saddening. Like, it's just so depressing, like, realizing that you're building relationships, you're building, like, friendships with these people who are just going to either leave you or you will leave them. It's sort of heartbreaking because, like, they're not bad people. Most of them aren't bad people. I mean, I'm not going to say they're all good people, because, like, eventually you'll get someone who's not a good person. So, like, most of the people that you meet here are, like, good people, and you become friends with them, and then suddenly they're like, okay, my time's up, I'm going home. I'm leaving this school, I'm leaving this building, I'm leaving this company. And you're like, oh. Okay. And then, like, you just never see them again. It's really, really crazy. I've had, like, when I join, like, new teachers always, like, join in when other teachers are leaving, which is kind of nice, but also not nice. So, as of my time being there, I had someone, I've had, who is it? This one girl who was there for, like, 3 years finally left. A married couple left. They were, like, young, but married. So that's quite nice. So they left. One more girl has left recently, and then, like, a few more are leaving soon. And it's just like, wow. I liked most of these people. A few of them I didn't actually, like, really talk to, but, like, whatever. It's just sort of, like, disheartening to realize that, like, that's the nature of this job. You're going in to make friends with other expats, and then, you know, you're just gonna leave each other one day. One of you will leave, and that will be it. Your friendship is on borrowed time. It's crazy. it's really just like weird to think, like, you know, like, I'm making friends with this person who's turned up at work. Okay, they're leaving now. Oh, bye. Never see them again. It's very depressing, but, you know, I mean, it's fine, it's the nature of the job, because it's international teachers are coming in to teach in a country that's not theirs, obviously. So they will get bored of it, and they will, like, want to go home, and they will miss their home country. Getting homesick is a thing that most people get. I don't particularly feel homesick, like, ever. I mean, I never did when I was traveling, like, across England to, like, go see things. Or, like, even when I was at university, I was never, like, homesick. And then when I was traveling across Europe for, like, Yu-Gi-Oh!, like, I was never homesick either, like. And, like, still, like, I've been here in China for, like, over 3 months now, and I'm not homesick in the slightest. The only sick that I feel is when it's a heavy pollution day, and then I just, like, go outside and start coughing, and I'm like, ugh. Like, as of right now, I've had to ride to work wearing a mask, which is so unhelpful, but whatever. Whatever. Oh, man. But I guess that's just, like, the nature of it, and it's getting closer and closer to winter. Like, we're in the autumn, where the air's very strange right now. Like, some days it's really nice and clear, and some days it's, like, mad. Ooh. And that's something I have to, like, look out for while I'm here as well, the air levels. The app that I use for it, because you have an app for absolutely everything in China, it's fantastic. It's like when the iPhone was, like, brand new. Like, the app I use has, like, a rating of 0 to 500. Currently it's 34. It's really, really good air right now. So I might go out and do something after I finish, like, rendering and uploading this. So, like, favorite, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. See you guys in the next video, and stay amazing, guys.